Shohei Ohtani will not be a Blue Jay next season, but they might get another Japanese superstar. So we'll break that down. There's a Ross Stripling update. He might, in fact, be back with the Blue Jays. So we'll break that all down and much more on Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside co-host Nick Gosse. Got a lot to break down today, so let's get straight into the video. But before we do that, we just want to thank you once again for helping us hit 1K subscribers. We're at 1.5K right now. It's just unbelievable support that we've been getting, and can't thank you guys enough.
It's been unbelievable, like you said. We hit 1.5 officially, so I guess we should be thanking them for 1.5K now. Thank you guys for that. Quick reminder, 87.5% of you guys who are watching right now are not subscribed. So if you enjoyed the daily content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. The support has been unreal recently. You guys have been phenomenal commenting. We love having conversations with you guys in the comments. So keep commenting and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, if you love daily content. But let's get right into the video. First topic, next Blue Jays star. So a report dropped yesterday that I'll pop up on the screen here now about Kodai Senga, I believe is the name. And the report came from John Morrissey saying, Ross Atkins said today that the Blue Jays have a strong relationship with Kodai Senga's agent, Joel Wolf. Atkins says he expects to have dialogue with Senga's camp. If you're unfamiliar with Senga, because I wasn't really familiar with him before, doing some research for this video, I'll pop up his Japan stats here. He is a Japan pitcher. He is 29 years old, and he throws gas. You can see he changed teams a little bit here. Or not changed teams, but like the years kind of look weird on Baseball Reference. But last year, he had a 1.94 ERA in like 17 games. He's just unreal. You can have a look at the stats there. What are your initial thoughts on this, Peter?
We see it a lot with Japanese pitchers coming over from the Japanese league. It's I've heard a lot of scouts say it's like equivalent to AAA baseball. So that's pretty good. I mean, you have a lot of guys that make a career in AAA and are just one step away from the major leagues. So if he's dominating, if he's carving in the Japanese league and throwing gas 99 plus miles an hour, it plays in any league in the world. So it's definitely exciting to see. He's 29 years old. So we don't know how many more years he has of pitching at this elite level. But it's definitely interesting to see, and it's great to see that the Blue Jays are making a push at it, or at least going to try to make a push at it.
Yeah, you can see his stats here. I'll pop him up one more time. Really elite. Never had above a 3 ERA since 2020, really, before 2020. But it's he looks really good. And even if AAA is the equivalent to Japan, which I'm sure, like you said, is not a direct comparison, but even that's the closest we can get. Those are some phenomenal numbers. Those would be a top prospect in the MLB. So it is good to see. He is 29 years old, so just going into his prime, but might not have maybe a 3 to 4 year contract. And I will pop this up very quickly here to show you. This is what the GM, I believe, the Mariners said. He said that he sees Kodai as an impact pitcher in the MLB, and of course the Mariners have done their due diligence. But so it's not just the Blue Jays that like him; other teams do as well. And I think he could be a big target for the Blue Jays, especially if they're looking for a thing. And hopefully we don't have another Kikuchi situation, but. Either way, it was he's a very interesting and very intriguing pitcher, especially because he throws really fast, which tends to play up in the MLB.
Well, yeah, I'll add to that, Nick. There's also a track record of Japanese pitchers coming over to the major leagues and making an immediate impact. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani was the latest one, who has just been unbelievable his entire career, but he kind of changed the mold a little bit. He came over when he was younger, 24 years of age, and he's still in his prime right now, and the MLB has been blessed to have Shohei Ohtani for his entire prime. So that's unbelievable. But guys like Masahiro Tanaka, Yu Darvish, they're coming to the major leagues when they're approaching 30 years old. So they've had successful careers. Obviously, Masahiro Tanaka is back in Japan right now, but Yu Darvish, he's still pitching at a very high level for the San Diego Padres in his mid-30s. So if we can get a similar type of career like that, then I'm sure the Blue Jays would sign up for it and definitely should make a push for this guy. He seems to be electric.
Yep, and free agency starts tomorrow, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye on him and what he decides to do. Let's get into the next topic now, which is a Ross Stripling trade update. We had a video a couple days ago talking about how people were saying that he doesn't think, or we don't think he'll be returning. Another report dropped saying the Blue Jays, by Ben Nicholson Smith, Blue Jays reporter, Blue Jays have been in touch with Ross Stripling and expressed interest in bringing him back. Jays have also had trade interest in their catchers and relievers. Possible Jays make a move, but they don't plan to force anything. We've hammered home on the catchers things. We won't touch on that too much here, but So they said that they had been in touch with Stripling and expressed interest in bringing him back. So this is kind of a bit different than what we've been hearing around the around the league. So I would like to bring Ross Stripling back at a price. I didn't think it was even an option that Ross would be considering, but who knows?
Well, the Blue Jays, we said in the other video, their payroll's at about 120 million right now, and they only have 10 players locked in the contracts. So you still have 15 major league roster spots that you need to fill there. And if Ross Stripling is one of them, I mean, the Blue Jays gave him a real opportunity. They allowed him to be in the rotation. They allowed him to pitch a lot of innings, probably out of necessity because they needed that. But maybe he gives them some type of hometown discount. Clearly loves being on this team. He clearly loves the guys that play around him. So maybe he re-signs $12 million a year and gives the Blue Jays a favor there. But
Yeah.
it looked like he was gone. It looked like he was gone just because he elected free agency, and now this is a good sign if you're a Blue Jays fan.
Yeah, and I would say it still probably looks like he might be going. I don't really take what Ross Atkins says too much to heart. Obviously, and like he said, they're gonna try to go for him. Pop it up one more time. I have interest in bringing him back. That doesn't mean that Ross is interested, but he did seem like a very good clubhouse guy. He seemed like someone who the team loved, and he loved the team, and he really came into his own last year with the
Yeah,
Jays. So hopefully, I would love to bring him back. Like you said, $12 million. Who knows what it's gonna take? We'll know as the
mhm,
market starts to shape up after tomorrow. We'll get a more realistic expectation of what these players are going to get, but it is
right.
definitely good.
And another thing about Ross Stripling is that he's a team first guy. So whatever role that you ask him to fulfill, he's going to do that. I mean, he was our long relief guy to start the season last year. Some guys in the rotation didn't work out. He was thrown into there and became one of our most reliable starters by the end of the season, and was probably slated to start a game 3 in the wild card series if we didn't collapse, but we did. But I'd love to see Ross Stripling back. He's really seems like a great teammate and loves the city of Toronto.
Yeah, and we'll keep you guys updated with that as the as contracts start to shape up over the coming weeks. Let's get into the third topic here, which is Anthony Bass returning. So this was made official by all reporters yesterday. Of course, can't be made official till tomorrow, I believe, but I'll pop up the report here now. Blue Jays plan to exercise Anthony Bass's 2023 option this week as expected, and that option is for $3 million. This was a no-brainer. He was phenomenal last year. He was phenomenal with the Jays in the past. He was solid. I wouldn't say phenomenal. He was solid in the Jays in the past, and then last year he just shined. This trade is looking pretty solid. The Groshans for Pop and Bass trade, and it's great that we have him for another year. And just in the open market, he would get much more than $3 million annually. So this was just a no-brainer. But I'm so happy to see Anthony Bass back.
Absolutely, and a lot of fans are gonna remember that game too, where he came in and couldn't really get an out for us, but he was a workhorse in that bullpen. He was a solid seventh, eighth inning guy, and just got the job done all year long, and he helped us make the playoffs, whether you like it or not. It was a big reason as to why the Blue Jays actually got to play in October. And another underrated piece of that trade that you mentioned there is Zach Pop. I mean, he's still very young, and I don't know about you, but I think he has starter potential. I
Yeah,
don't know. It's something intriguing that I really like about Zach Pop. 97 plus, throws a heavy sinker, doesn't strike many guys out, but it seems like he can really locate that pitch. And if he can develop like a changeup or something, I want to rule it out of him like being in the rotation because he still has at least 4 years left of club control.
yeah. I don't know what his history is in the minors of starting, but either way, yeah, he definitely looks like he has kind of the body of a starter and the way he kind of
Mhm.
goes around. But if not, a long inning guy would be perfect. Who, depending on the Blue Jays bullpen moves that are made this year, will kind of shape obviously Zach Pop's role, or if he's even in the bullpen or spends more time in the minors, along as Anthony Bass. Because in an ideal world, if Bass is your seventh inning man, or even like sixth, but seventh inning man, you have a extremely strong bullpen. Um,
Right.
if we, so depending what moves we make, it'll help determine the roles of Bass and Pop.
One more thing about Zach Pop. We won't ramble on too much about it, but like you said, he has this body of a starter, and he just has such a fluid delivery that I could see Pete Walker molding him into a guy that eats up a lot of innings in that starting rotation, and he's got electric stuff. So that'll be something interesting to see, and we'll monitor that as the offseason goes along, as well as Anthony Bass, and we got one more thing to get into here. So let's break that down here.
Yep.
Go
Bryan
ahead, Nick.
Reynolds trade update. So this one's kind of this kind of popped. It's not too much involved with the Blue Jays, which is why we made it the final topic here. But obviously, we had a video. Man, time's flying. I think it was a couple weeks ago. Rumors have been circulating with Bryan Reynolds and the Blue Jays and other teams as well. And the rumor popped up that Pirates also have Bryan Reynolds is a popular name among GMs this week, as he was last year. But he is unlikely to be dealt this offseason. Pirates believe they'll be competitive before it's free agency after 2025. Maybe they might be competitive then. But honestly, I think that they still might trade him, but obviously as of now, it's saying that the Bryan Reynolds rumor should be shut down a little bit. These GMs are just shutting down rumors left and right. They canceled out the Ohtani. They're done with Bryan Reynolds, but I don't know how much stock I put in this Bryan Reynolds not being traded thing.
I don't know. I feel like these GMs are really overvaluing their teams here. The Pirates were probably the worst team in the majors this past season. I think it was quite clear cut that they were the worst team in the major leagues. Now they have some intriguing pieces. They have O'Neal Cruz, who looks like a really exciting prospect and is a Statcast god. Like he has the peripherals of just an unbelievably talented player, and he is. But he's still a 220 hitter. He's still a guy that'll strike out half the time. And Bryan Reynolds, I mean, yeah, he has years of club control, but do they really think they can contend in 2025? And the Pirates, they don't re-sign their guys once their service time is up. They've proven that. They've traded away promising players. They have a very frugal ownership, so I don't know how much stock I buy into it either. I mean, maybe it's a deadline type of trade, but how can you not try to get assets for that guy the way the Pirates operate?
Yeah, I don't know. Any Pirates fans in the comment section, because I know there's been a few, let us know what your opinions are on that and if you want to see Bryan Reynolds be traded. You're kind of hitting all the important points. He would be a phenomenal piece for the Jays or any major league team, but
Mhm.
seeming as if he won't be traded. Maybe at the deadline. I feel like a lot. I think this would be an exciting deadline. Obviously an exciting offseason as well, but we'll keep an eye on the Bryan Reynolds front. Just wanted to update you guys on that. But yeah, that's probably going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's been unreal. We're so close to 2K already. We're over halfway there, and it's unbelievable to say that. But just want to thank you guys again for the incredible support.
Yeah, it's been super fun and can't wait to make a video tomorrow.
Cheers.